We are live.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi, everyone. We've got a few in the house.
Have we?
Sorry we're a couple of minutes late. It was me messing about with my microphone and UK Vegan Family not having any sound.
Yeah, he left me without sound.
We're all good. We're all here now. I nearly broke my microphone just before, but not to worry. Oh, it's gone off again. There we go. There we go. Can everybody hear me all right? Because that connector's a bit loose.
Can everyone hear us all right?
You sound perfect. You sound like you're coming through loud and clear.
Cool.
Okay, so everyone, I've got UK Vegan Family with me tonight. I'm not sure that they need very much introduction, really, because you've been doing great stuff on your channel. You've been having so many different, really interesting people just in your hot seat that I wanted to get you guys on in the hot seat, ask you some questions, because sometimes, you know, it's good to get the other side. Just let me turn my emails off.
Definitely.
It's actually the first time we've ever been in the hot seat like this.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all a bit.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Oh, well, I'd been in the hot seat quite a few times before I dared to get anyone on my own channel. I don't know. It seemed it's. I think it might be a bit easier. I don't know. Anyway, let's see who we've got in. So we've got Pauline, Muddy Paws, Satan Inside, Grumpy Vegan Grandad, Eve, us three vegans. I'm Easy Vegan. And Harrod's Life,
Yay.
Fear of the Vegan Planet. Who else have we got? Let's move up. Vegan King.
Hey.
We're starting to fill up now. Vegan Teacher. Got one stream on the telly and the other one on her computer. There is another stream that's just finishing up, actually. Vegan Gaze and Chris Hines have been doing a stream for charity tonight. So they've raised a lot of money for a sanctuary. So that's been really good. They're just finishing up, so we're not overlapping by very much. Vegan Hop, hello. Who else? I'm nearly at the top now. Charlotte Wilson. So, good stuff. VegMech Codbod, brilliant. Okay, so Helen is in as well. Nikki is in. Vegan Todd. Oh, we've got quite a few. Right. So the plan is UK Vegan Family, Danny and Adam are here to answer some questions about vegan families, give us their insights into raising a vegan child. And also, we're going to talk about schools and a little bit about education and what we can do to basically help schools along, you know, develop some kind of vegan message within schools and to not rely on meat and animal products so much. Hench Herbivores also in the chat. Welcome, Hench. So, guys, for anybody who doesn't know you, and I really don't think... You know, you're getting quite a name for yourselves now. And if you haven't subscribed to UK Vegan Family, the link's in the description of this stream. So please go and subscribe to them right now. Subscribe right now. Sophie, hi, hey, says Sophie. Right. So tell me about your vegan journey. How did you meander into veganism? And what was that like for you?
That's my favourite question. So it's usually me who answers this one because my parents thankfully raised all of us as vegetarians. So I've never actually eaten animals, haven't eaten animal flesh or fish. So I'm quite proud of that. And for 30 plus years of my life, I was eating dairy and eggs and completely oblivious to what goes on in the dairy industry. And Adam was obviously raised, you know, most of the population. But obviously you had a very different upbringing to me, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'd always said to Adam, if we ever have a family, they would always be vegetarian. There would be no question. We did have a few to-dos about it over the years, but it was just, that's normal to me. There is no other way. So of course, when we had Jack, it was just Jack's going to be vegetarian, and he was raised that way until we found veganism based. Well, we found the plant-based diet first because I had some health issues. I've been diabetic since I was 17, and I was on lots of medication, insulin, and I found out I had an eye condition. It's called diabetic retinopathy. Right. And it was in the February 2019, and it really frightened me. I thought, I'm going to go blind. I'm a new mom. Oh my goodness. And I came across Dr. Michael Greger and a whole food plant-based diet. And I'd sort of made the connection to dairy milk when I was weaning Jack onto food, and I didn't want to give him cow's milk. So I stopped drinking dairy at that point. I went on to oat milk. And then I started talking to Adam, and I was saying, look, I actually think I want to give the vegan thing a go now. I don't think I'm doing enough. And yeah, it kind of spiraled on there, and you weren't too keen, and were you?
No. At first, well, I'd always been raised as on an omnivorous diet. And when I saw you, progress on your vegan journey, I thought, you know what, I want to see what this plant-based diet's all about. And when did I do Veganuary?
It was March 2019, wasn't it?
March 2019, and I never looked back since. Never looked back. I can't believe I haven't done it sooner. Like the plant-based diet was amazing. It helped me so much, especially with my mental health as well, because it gave me something like positive to think about and like something to do. I don't know. It's such a hard one to think about.
Turned our lives around.
It has completely turned my life around, really, for the better, so much.
Yes. So you've both been vegan now for what, about 18 months?
It always seems to be 18 months.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. Like at first, I was a bit like, oh, bloody vegans and all this, like, oh, and then it just completely. After I did Veganuary, I just completely opened my eyes, and I completely saw. Because my stuff, I think I've left the videos on our channel, and it was like the first couple of videos, it was like our Veganuary journey, wasn't it?
It was hilarious.
And I go back and watch at them now, and I cringe at myself. I'm just like, oh god, I'm so naive. But because I'm sure there's a video of me going, oh yeah, I'm just doing it for health, and I'm just,
You actually said, I don't really care about.
I don't really care about the animals, and that's what I mean. I've changed so much. And I look back at myself now and I'm like, oh my God, did I really say this? But I like to leave it there so people can see it. It's like this. Yeah. And now I look back at myself now on it and I just think, wow, you were so blind.
But you didn't eat really very well before, did you?
No, I didn't eat very well.
You didn't really eat fruit, didn't eat salad.
No, I was very, processed meats were like,
pizza, burgers.
Yeah, it's not nice, not good. I don't even like it. But then once I progressed through that transitioning point from the plant-based diet, I started watching things like Dominion and Earthlings, and What the Health as well was a good one. Cowspiracy.
Oh yeah.
And they just, I went to bed plant-based and woke up vegan. That was it. But now I'll never pay for anything like that ever again.
Fantastic. So Adam, you went, pardon the phraseology, but you went cold turkey into veganism.
Yeah.
Whereas Danny, you had a similar journey to me. You went from vegetarianism, like long-term vegetarianism, to veganism. And I don't know whether that's easier or not. Do you think it is easier to go vegetarian first and then vegan?
In my eyes, not necessarily, because I thought I was doing enough, because I was so against animal abuse. And when I found out what my money was paying for, I mean, I used to eat a lot of eggs and a lot of cheese. I was absolutely devastated. But because you're under this umbrella that I'm vegetarian, I'm an animal lover, I love animals. I'm not doing any harm. I thought the vegans were just freaks. I've always thought they were freaks, if I'm honest. I can't believe that I was so wrong.
I know. I can't believe I liked myself. Like I said, I was an animal lover. Like all that. And for me, it was when you said it was easier going cold turkey. But I was watching. Was it What the Health? And I was having a beef burger at the time, and I literally looked down at it. I put it down, and I went and took it away, and that was it. That was me done. Like that, literally done.
And I think that if you're vegetarian, like you said, Danny, it was exactly the same for me. That you think you're doing your bit. You think, well, I'm not eating meat and I'm not eating fish, and I'm looking for products that have gelatin in, and I'm doing my bit. And for me, it took a colleague who was vegan just to very, very kindly kind of say to me, she said, "Oh, are you vegetarian?" And I said, yeah, I'm vegetarian. And she went, "Oh," I said, "Are you a vegetarian as well?" Because she was new and kind of just having a chat. And she said, "I'm vegan." And she must have seen my face drop, because I knew. I've told this story so many times, and this is your stream, not mine. But I was in complete denial. I knew really. But I could give myself that kind of wall, that little barrier that said, well, I'm doing my bit. And she went, "Oh, well, you do, you're saving some animals. However, have you considered the dairy industry?" And I went, "Yeah, I know." And I went straight back to my office, and I was literally spent the afternoon, did no work, spent the afternoon Googling veganism. And that was it. That was the final straw. So it's great that we all have different journeys, though. And I think that that you as a couple, it's kind of this great message that it doesn't matter whether you're vegetarian or whether you're a concerted lifelong meat eater who lives on burgers, that we can all find that vegan. We can all find that vegan message, and we can all we all have our part to play. So for anybody who's vegetarian thinking they're doing their bit, well, maybe think about that. But for those of you chowing down on burgers, Adam went cold turkey, so why can't you? It's as simple as that.
Because it was the What the Health that we watched first, wasn't it? That was watched What the Health, and then I think that's what led me into veganuary. I was like, all right, I'm done. Yeah, like you said.
And that was the documentary that made us think, there's no way we can give these products to our son. There's just, I mean, he never liked eggs anyway. When he tried them, he used to fling them across the room, but he did have cheese. And he doesn't really have anything processed either like that. He might occasionally have some vegan cheese, but he tends to have more of a whole food plant-based diet like me, whereas you have 50-50.
He had a lentil dal curry.
Oh yeah, we had a lentil dal, an oil-free lentil dal tonight.
Yeah, so that's what he had. So.
Yeah.
Is that 3?
He's just 3. Yeah, he's absolutely ace.
Oh. Well, we'll come on to the future. The future is our children. We'll come on to that when we talk about education. But raising a vegan child, have you had any opposition or anything from family or friends? Or are people concerned that Jack's not going to grow up healthy? All this stigma and stereotypes we have about vegans, and it seems to be a whole lot of that is lumped onto vegan families. That you're doing something wrong,
Yeah, they don't think that, actually. There was a few comments when we first did it, like, "Oh, what are you going to be eating? Air?" And I was like, "No, we're not going to be eating air.
Dust."
But everybody has been so supportive. I think I've had 1 or 2 comments like, "So is Jack vegan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course he is." But everyone constantly says about him, "Oh my God, he's so advanced for his age. He's constantly wired. Like, he just runs non-stop. He's just on the go. There is absolutely nothing wrong with him. He's getting almost as tall as you, which is scary. He's right up to my hips now, and I'm like, slow down. Yeah, he's really tall, like you.
Yeah.
So he's amazing. Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's really switched on with the whole vegan message as well.
Yeah,
He understands it.
We've not had anything negative from family and friends. It's been through social media that we've had the negativity, which is quite a surprise, because if somebody says, like, they were eating a chicken burger, he would say, well, I don't eat chicken and I want my chickens back. That's what he says. He goes into the supermarket, Michelle, and he looks at dead animals and he goes, Mummy, there's dead animals over there.
It's sweet, but isn't it, out of the mouths of babes? It's what a lot of people are thinking, but yet are in complete denial. That when I walk down the meat aisle in a supermarket, I just think this is a morgue. This is like a funeral home for,
I've always thought that, yeah.
It's horrible. No. It's literally a morgue. And it's cold like a morgue. And nobody speaks it, do they? And it takes that one kid who, knows the score, who will speak for all of us, I guess.
He has no problems doing that. He does it at nursery as well.
Well, I was down the milk aisle putting some stickers, like some QR code stickers all over and he was like, look, Mummy, booby milk. And I'm there trying, incognito Adam, trying to like sticker all these like 4 pointers, and he's like giving my cover away. He's blowing my cover.
Booby milk.
We've just been honest with him now and told him what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah.
He says, oh, eggs. Well, they come from a chicken's bottom. I don't want to eat that. So that's him.
Yeah.
Good for Jack. He's speaking for all of us. He really is. So I remember watching one of your streams, I don't know which one, recently, and you were telling the story of Jack at nursery, and there was a book about, was it meat or animal products?
Yes.
And that book mysteriously disappeared once you'd had a word with them.
It's been replaced with a plant-based Live Well table.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I said to them today and the other day, I was like, oh, wow, this is brilliant. So they're trying to, they'll be showing that to the other children so that they know what Jack eats, which is great.
Brilliant.
It's really good. It's supportive. And I said today, you're allowing Jack to be inclusive in this environment, which is what it's all about.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm proud of them.
Yeah. And I know Jack's going to schools. What will it be? Another year before he goes to school?
Yeah, I think it's 2022. Yeah, because he goes.
Yeah, not next year, the year after.
Yeah, it's the year after.
Oh, okay. So, how do you think Jack is going to transition into a school environment where you're going to have kids who maybe don't understand and are more negative? What would you say to any parents concerned about that kind of? I know we've had Zactivist on this stream and on other streams talking about. For anybody who doesn't know Zactivist, he's brilliant. He's 13. He's a vegan. He's quite a militant vegan activist now, I think. But he's had bullying at school. So what would you say to any parents concerned about their vegan children being bullied? Or
I think, first of all, you've got to be, I mean, we haven't obviously spoken to the future school yet. We don't know, what the situation is with the school, but the plan is to let them know in advance and to support the school to make sure that they are doing what they need to do to allow him to be inclusive in school. And it's my realization now that schools now provide free school meals for children under a certain age. Oh. And we would be entitled to free school meals. I think it's up until age reception. No, year 2, I think it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. So he would be entitled to that. And I'm not going to allow a jacket potato to be a substantial lunch. So I will do whatever it takes as parents to make sure that that is changed. And I've supported the nursery. They didn't have a clue about vegan, the vegan thing. They didn't know what plant-based foods were, and they've gone out and done their own research and surprised us. So, and
we had to sit down with them.
We did. We tweaked everything. We were supportive and educational, and they got it right. So the school can. I won't accept. I won't accept. Anything other than a plant-based menu for him. I won't. If they say that they can't provide it, that they will, because the Equality Act is there, and I'm not scared to use it.
They have to. But I think you're absolutely right that what you said, it's educate them. I think that's the key. That the nursery staff, that you've sat down and actually taught to and made them understand in the most educational way possible, and they've been so receptive to it, so much so that they've gone away and done their own research, which is fantastic, because you never know that some of those nursery staff might well decide to go vegan on the back of it. You never know. But it's the same with schools, I think, and some parents who, it does concern me a little, and I am going to say this, it concerns me a little when vegans are so militant that they'll go in there and shout the odds, and that puts everybody on like the defensive. And I think that it's absolutely the right thing to do, is to tell them up front and work with them, rather than fight against them. I think there's a big difference between fighting against an existing policy that they're just all going along with because that's how they were raised, and that's life, that's the world. We live in a non-vegan world, of course, but going in there with education, going in there with knowledge and taking that time, I think that is a really good message for all parents in that situation who've got a child either starting school or at school already, and they may be having problems with the school. Maybe a dialogue that is educational rather than confrontational, I think is the way.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of tools out there now. The Vegan Society has a lot of information on there about schools, and they've got their plant-based table on there, which, the schools can have copies of that. It's a lot easier now to support schools than it would have been. Certainly when I was younger, there was never anything really for me to eat as a vegetarian at school. So it's better now. So there isn't really any excuse really for them to not be pulling their weight. There just isn't.
And that's it. And we'll come back to schools in a sec. But I think, even if you've not got a child, if you've got, a young person at university or your own workplace, I think the same thing applies, that just talking to people rather than confronting people is absolutely the way to go. I mean, at my workplace, I work at a university, as most of you will know. And when I started there in 2014, I wasn't vegan then. And I rarely ate in the canteen anyway, but when I did, it was a cheese sandwich, right? That was it. And there really wasn't that many vegetarian options. And I didn't even think about vegan options when I went vegan. And I did a recce around the university, like, I got my little militant head on and walked around the university to all the little eateries and had a look to see what was vegan and what wasn't. And our main canteen, like the bistro place, there was literally no vegan food except a dry jacket potato and beans. That was literally it, day in, day out, or a plate of chips, like with nothing else. You could have chips and beans, I guess, as a mix-up. And I just happened to, one of the chefs called him over and I said, where's your vegan options? And, like, very kindly. And he said, well, you could have jacket potato, or you could have beans. I said, yeah, but what else do you think you could provide? because they're a catering company. They're, they've got experienced chefs working for them. And he said, "Oh, we could probably do all sorts." And I said, "Well, why don't you then?" Yeah. And he said, "If you want to come and have a chat, as to what you would like, then do that." And I did. I went and had a chat with him. And now they always have. I don't eat there, but they always have a vegan option, or something that can be very easily for them converted to vegan. The student union shop, on the back of not just my conversation, but some vegan students who got onto the student union, they've got a whole row now of vegan sandwiches, a whole row of them, and they sell out really quickly.
That's great.
So it's definitely not just vegans that are eating those vegan sandwiches. They're the sandwiches that disappear like hotcakes, because people love them. People really like, they're very, very tasty. So I think it's the same for workplaces, universities, and schools, that just having a word is something that's sometimes nobody's bothered doing that.
It happened to you yesterday, didn't it? Because Adam works in a hospital.
Yeah. They've recently like started stocking up vegan sandwiches, and there was a new addition with is it Ginsters or Ginsters? They had the vegan. Don't know either. Yeah. They had like a whole row of Ginster pasties on Monday. I went to go and get one yesterday, Thursday. They'd all gone. All gone. I was like, God damn! I want my bloody pasties. Damn vegans eating my food.
And when we have events at work, we don't often get free food, but if there's an event on, we get a buffet. And like a couple of times I've actually gone to my boss and said, well, I had to starve. And like semi-jokingly, but I had to starve because all I could eat was an apple. That's all there was on the table that was vegan. And now, right, every time there's an event, there's a whole vegan platter. And you have to be there at the front of the queue, or else it goes. And I'm like, stop, you're not vegan, you can't eat that.
Bloody flexitarians, or whatever they want to call themselves, taking our food.
So I think, vegans get a bad rap, but when the food's there, non-vegans eat it.
Yeah, of course.
It beggars belief. It's like you really love this food so much so you're stealing mine, right? You're not eating your chicken barm or your sausage roll. You're eating mine. And why can't? Do you like it? Oh, yeah, I love it. It's really tasty. It's way tastier than that dried chicken. It's like, well, why can't you do that all the time then? And I'm like, yeah, but bacon though. And I don't think I could do this full time. But what it's done is it's sowed the seed. And I think that is so important, that sowing the seed. That's all part of the process, isn't it? For many people, it takes a while for them to come round to the idea. Because there's a whole society out there that's either anti-vegan, like blatantly anti-vegan, or just has not considered these issues, because that's just the way it's always been. And
they've just somehow managed to not come across a vegan or something vegan. I mean, I don't know where they've been, because it's everywhere. But
like with going back to the canteen and the bistros, Michelle, because you said you had a conversation with the chef there. I had a conversation with the chef at my hospital, in the canteen, and basically there's a lot of vegetarian stuff, and they can just convert it to vegan as well, because they do like a barbecue oomph. Have you heard of oomph? It's in Tesco. It's like a fake meat thing, substitute. They do a barbecue oomph burrito, but the only thing I can't have is the wrap, the tortilla wrap. So I just have a naked burrito in a box, and it's just as fine. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah. But yeah, it was basically, I had a conversation with the chef there as well. So
I think you've got to, though. That's what it's all about. You've got to open your mouth and say, hey, by the way, do you think you can make this a bit better? That's what it's going to take. And I tend to do it through humour, because everybody at my work knows I've got like quite a dry sense of humour. So
having a conversation with my boss, which is potentially difficult for a lot of people. You know, I did it through humour. Well, I had to starve. You know? And she looked absolutely mortified, and I wonder whether it's, you know, it's things like the Equality Act, and you know that they know they've got a, you know, they've got a. It's not necessarily a duty of care in an establishment where everybody's an adult, but you know, they don't want to be accused of not, you know, not being kind to their staff. Anyway,
I usually use the vegan thing to get extra food because I go, oh God, I'm vegan, I'm deteriorating. Look at me, I'm malnourished. Give me some extra chips.
You've never told me that.
Yeah, they're always, oh yeah, better put some more on there.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Anyway, let's talk about education. I thought my mic had gone off again then. Let's talk about education. So we've been having a to and fro over the last week or so by email, and
Yeah.
I know that you talk a lot about schools and things on your own streams. So do you want to tell us what your new venture is? I know it's early days yet, but
it's very early days, and those of you who've been watching our streams, we like to chat to other families to see what the schools are like. And so far, it seems to be about 50-50. We've met a lot of families that homeschool as well. So there's always that as an option. But I hear so much over social media about vegan children having a hard time at school and not having a great menu to choose from, although some schools that I come across are doing a grand job, and that's great. We need to recognise that. But I think it needs a community of people to approach the schools across the UK to ask them, what do they understand veganism to be? What do they know about veganism? It's not just, oh, they don't eat certain things or they have a plant-based diet. They need to understand what veganism is. It's a lifestyle choice. I think now that we have the Equality Act, I think it's a great time to use it and make sure that schools understand that, you know, to discriminate somebody because they're vegan, that is, you know, discriminating against them for their lifestyle. It's, you know, to do with the Equality Act. So my idea is to get a community of people, not necessarily vegan families, but the more vegan families, the better, and to face this together and find out what the schools are doing at the moment, what they are doing good, what isn't so good, and to build a profile so that we can see where, you know, the areas are that are doing good and recognize that, you know, and not congratulate them, but, you know, to support them to continue to do good. But also the areas that aren't doing so well, we need to support them. And I think there is some real key people currently. You've got Laura Chepner, who has written a book called It's a Vegated book. She already goes into schools to give them support. So I think there's already people out there trying to do it, but I think we need more of us with that same goal to make things better for our vegan children, because a lot of them come across bullies. I mean, you get bullies in all, you know, all times at school. It's lots of different scenarios, but I see it a lot. And I think if we can educate the schools and educate the children to support one another, like we would for most, you know, different types of discrimination, then we might be able to make a change for children in the future as well. I think it's about time that they pull their weight and change things for the better, really.
I think it's time that we educate the schools as they educated us.
Yeah, I think it's time to make a difference. And we have a social media platform, and why not? Why not? It's going to take a load of us to do it. I don't think one or two people will do it on their own. I think it needs a community of people. So if anybody would be interested in helping us, I've put a letter together, and we'll email that out to different schools across the area, and see what comes back of it. But I say nothing has gone out yet. It's all very much in the early stages. The letter has been written. I just need people to send it out.
we're basically just building like a database, isn't it? Just to see. I think at some point we're going to have to sort of compare the schools that are not doing so well to the popularity of veganism in the county as well, and just see if there's any sort of like similarities or, you know, things that might show why they're not doing so well as well.
It could just be a lack of understanding, though.
Yeah,
that's what I think it might be, and they might not necessarily realize that a jacket potato isn't actually very nutritious, really.
And whether the families that are taking their children to these schools are actually open about their family being vegan as well, because if the school don't know that, then why would they?
Yeah.
And
I when you approached me, Danny, I really liked the idea, because I think you're right that it will take a lot to get a UK wide change. And for you guys who are not in the UK, then, you know, I guess you could do something similar in your own country if that's possible. But I like the idea, because there's so much scope with it as well, that it's not just about finding out what the schools know about veganism or what they provide vegan children in terms of food, because of course food is only one aspect of veganism. It's for a school, I guess it's the most overt thing, that the thing that they've got to change, they've got to feed vegan children, but there's a whole education kind of program behind that as well for the children, not to convert them to veganism, but to be inclusive and to prevent bullying. I saw a comment from Vegan Teacher. It's gone now, so I'm not going to try and find it, get it on screen. But, you know, children have been bullied to the point of suicide. And we could say that about many different, you know, horrible situations where unfortunately a child's committed suicide due to bullying, and that bullying can be for a whole manner of reasons that are insane. You know, looking at it from an adult's eyes, you kind of think, oh, what is going on with it, with what is going on with society and all that. But so I like it, because as well as that, there is scope for a media campaign, for there to be a research. And like I put my researcher's hat on like a couple of days ago when I emailed you, and I was thinking, as a researcher, if I got this data, what would I want? What would I want to happen? Because potentially you could collect a lot of data, potentially, because you had a list of all the areas that were being covered, and that's a reasonably wide area, like set of area, you know, potentially. Still many more areas not covered, guys. So, you know, if you're in the UK, get in touch with UK Vegan Family. And I kind of thought, well, what would I want from this data, right? Because potentially you're going to generate a lot of data, and I would like to see it written up, not as an academic publication, but as a report for schools, as an educational tool, but also for the media as a wider educational tool. And I'm totally like I want to just go all guns blazing with it, because it's schools love statistics, says Vegan Teacher. Absolutely they do. And if I've got a sister who's a school governor, so, you know, school governors, get the school governors on side, because they're the ones who do the, you know, all the administration, and they're the ones really that you really need to be kind of focusing on. But if you can provide evidence that, you know, so many schools are doing this and so many schools are doing this, and other schools who are not can, you know, they can see that actually these things are actually small things, that we can make big changes to our children through small, very small things. So I think that it's a fantastic idea, and I hope that it really grows and grows. So I can do Chorley and Wigan, and you know, I'll send out a ton of emails. I'll sit there emailing everyone.
I will say, Michelle, that obviously we watched the stream with Zach when he said about not having anything at school and what used to happen to him, but it's actually thanks to the anti-vegans that they pretty much made us want to do this, because we were targeted by the anti-vegans. I think it was back in July. They made us feel like, wow, we actually have an opportunity here where we have seen what it's like to be bullied directly because of our lifestyle. So we're going to do something about this. And if adults are these adults, they don't just bully us, they bully our children. There's lots of vegan children all over social media that are on anti-vegan pages. And if you are a vegan family or you've got children in this particular chat, then do get in touch and I will give you all the pages, all the details that you need to block, because I would ask you to block them. But it's thanks to them and what they did to us that we decided to basically do this.
Give us the drive.
It gave us the drive, and we thought,
no, we're not going to
sod it. Like, we're just a family that do recipe videos. We might do a few different things, but we were like, no, hang on a minute. Let's build this little community and let's reach out to other families and get them on our channel and talk about it. Let's normalize things that we go through as a family. And it made us think, well, the one big challenge we've got is schools. So let's approach the schools and find out what's going on. So it's down to them that we're here, you know, wanting to set this up, really. So big thanks to the anti-vegans.
Well, actually,
yay!
It was the bullies that targeted you that actually put me in contact with you. I came across your knocked my table then. I came across your channel because of that. And it's so difficult. There's thousands of vegan channels on YouTube. It's so difficult to grow a following and to produce something that's unique and informative and entertaining, and you're doing that through having all of these really interesting people on your streams. But yeah, you're absolutely right that it's the anti-vegans that have given you the platform that you can now grow. So
they gave us our confidence.
Thanks to them.
They did 2 videos about me, and it really knocked my confidence at first. And then I thought, hang on a minute, what are you doing? You don't need to worry about this. You know, this has opened many doors. We did a response video to these bullies, and we had over 1,000 views on this video. And we didn't fight back. We just said, it's okay, we forgive you, and that's it. Like, we've moved on. We don't care.
I don't know what my dog's doing upstairs. Can you? I don't know whether anybody can hear her. She's growling. Yeah.
Is it fireworks? Probably.
No. Kyle. I don't know what she's barking at, but Kyle, my son's upstairs, so he can deal with her. He can deal with her. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought now, but it'll come back. Give me a sec. These anti-vegans, I mean, you know, they're like the counterculture, aren't they? They're the people who are thinking they're defending the traditional way of life, and they're doing it in such weak ways that it makes me giggle on a daily basis just how weak their arguments are. And it's all the more reason for vegans to just work as a community to put as much information together to counter every single one of their silly little arguments. And as vegan children and vegan families are targeted by these people, having schools on board, having people who, you know, are in the educational system who are supporting vegan children, you know, forget the fact that the British Dietetic Association, the American Dietetic Association, the World Health Organization, the NHS, they're all saying that plant-based diets are suitable for all stages of life, including childhood, pregnancy, and blah, blah, blah. But having actually people who are, real people, not just organizations, but real people on board with evidence, with evidence from schools, I think that it's invaluable at this moment in time, because the vegan movement is picking up a pace. Even 4 or 5 years ago, when I was discovering veganism, just compared to that, there's so many more vegan products out there on the shelves. But again, that's just plant-based products that people are buying. And the only reason why they're there really is for non-vegans, because they're all buying the plant-based stuff, right? It goes back to what we were saying before about all the Guinness pasties disappearing. So that's great that we've got that momentum in the food sector. But what we need now is to build on the education and put the vegan message with the context of veganism, rather than just, well, Greg's sausage rolls are great and Greg's steak bakes are great, and but actually let's now tell people about veganism and educating children, right? They are, I know it's cliche, but they are our future, aren't they? And in the next generation, we might well have vegan politicians and people who are willing to stand up for animals and actually do things that we can't do at the moment.
That's a very good point.
We can't. There's only so much the vegan community at the moment can do in influencing things like farming policy. It just isn't possible at the moment. But in the next few years, as these vegan kids start to grow up and have a voice themselves, the more impetus will build. So this is it. This is ground zero. This is where we start. This is where we build from. So,
I've just seen a comment in the chat. I think it was from Lawrence. Apparently, Vegan Deterioration has featured me again on her channel. Well, that's great. That's fantastic, because it's down to her that she allowed our channel to grow. We were featured on a few articles about fighting against cyberbullying and all that. It's down to her, and I'm really glad that I'm touched. I'm actually touched that she's featured me again. So thank you, because it means she's bothered.
Oh, and apparently, didn't she say that vegan children can't have hair?
Oh, apparently vegan children can't have hair past their shoulders, and they can't have shiny hair. I was like, I actually think I lost brain cells watching this video. I was just like, turn this off. It's just a waste of time.
There is honestly something seriously wrong with that woman, and I'm saying that in a joking fashion, but actually I mean it. She's concerning. It's really concerning.
Yeah, I know.
I think, was it Hench's new video? I think he said something like, "Oh, these anti-vegans, they think that you have to like eat eyes to make eyes, or eat hair to make hair, or something like that." And it's completely true, because I think he breaks down the amino acids and like he thinks that you have to eat the complete amino acid to make the amino acid in your body. Well, it's not like that at all. Your body just breaks it down and makes whatever it wants out of it.
Exactly.
With the collagen, and I don't think they understand that.
No, and I did it back when I did. I think it was A-level biology, and we did about proteins and fats and how they break down in the body and how then the body rebuilds them. So you ingest a protein-rich food, and your body breaks it down into its constituent amino acids, and then it transports it all around the body to where the body needs it. It's like proper clever. No, no, it's very, very simple. It's school level education, and it makes me despair of the education system, and that's all the more reason why we need to be in there educating these people.
I know,
For God's sake. Anyway, let's see if we've got any questions from the chat. Oh, I've got one more question for you before we let you ask some questions. It's the question you always ask your guests.
Oh no.
Oh,
Tofu or tempeh?
Well, mine is tempeh, and it has to have peanut butter on it. It's a satay sauce. So tempeh for me.
no. I'm not fussy.
Oh, well, that's no good.
I'm gonna say tofu.
I will also say tofu because I've never had tempeh. I'm going to admit it. I've never had
I've
tempeh.
never had tempeh.
Oh,
It's so much better than tofu.
it's acquired taste. I don't think it's as versatile as tofu, but it's very nice.
It's very tasty. Yeah.
Is it? I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to invest. I'm going to have to invest in some tempeh. I think.
Steam it first, ideally, and then you can coat it in peanut butter sauce and stick it in the oven for about 25 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah. And hopefully you're not allergic to nuts, because
I'm not allergic. I'm not allergic to nuts.
that would be
I
a
can
shame.
handle a bit of peanut butter. I can.
But great question.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Tempeh virgin, who'd have thunk? I'm not very good at cooking, as you probably have seen in my cooking videos. I'm not very good at cooking, so if
You
there's
made
any,
some great cakes, though, especially with Mia. You made that amazing cake. You did.
if I concentrate and I get my mind on it, I can do it. But I lack concentration. When Mia's there, she keeps me on the straight and narrow a little bit. But when I'm on my own, then I can wander off. You know, I set my kitchen on fire once by burning tacos. And anyway, I'm not even going to go there. Like literally,
Okay.
my kitchen was on fire. It was like, oh my God, never had tacos since. I have to tell you. But anyway, have we got any questions from the chat?
I saw a question from Grumpy Vegan Grandad.
Yeah,
You're going to hate me now, aren't you?
Where was it? There we go. There we go. Could you ask Adam, was he vegan when he was in the
Must be my accent.
You're going to have to explain that, because I vaguely remember the Wurzels.
Yeah, I think it's because Dan thinks I sound like a farmer, or
Because we're from Worcestershire.
yeah, we're in Worcestershire. He thinks I sound like a farmer.
I thought you may have been a pop star in your youth. I thought I
No.
went to a celebrity.
I've never owned a combine.
Oh God. Well, here's a question I think that we all should consider. Why is YouTube not banning vegan deterioration? I don't know why these people are allowed on a platform when
I got red.
you have as well.
You have actually.
I thought I was red at the start, to be honest.
I don't know why they don't ban these people.
You're deteriorating.
No, it's
on
all
the
the blood.
show.
It's all the black molasses you stuck in that cake. It's all the iron just like pulsing into my head.
Oh, he's funny. He is. I should have warned you. He makes me laugh all the
It's
time.
still red, though.
Why is he so wrinkly?
I'm constantly laughing.
Oh dear. Maybe we should just all report vegan deterioration. But at the same time, I don't think YouTube will do anything. So I guess we can just laugh at her. And
to be honest, yeah, I think it just shows what people are like. To actually pick on children for a start is the lowest of the low. I mean, these children, they're babies. They are babies.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And she openly says, Michelle, I don't like vegan parents. They're killing their children. Well, we're not killing our children. He's just fine. I
think that's very putting the word vegan there is what's the word I'm trying to think of? Assumptuous? No.
I don't know.
Presumptive. Is that the word?
Very presumptive when there's lots of families out there that aren't vegan killing their children by feeding them KFC and McDonald's, and
Exactly.
I just don't. I don't know.
Exactly. I think these people, they're literally doing it for views. I can't think of any other reason why they do it, because they do get a following, and
they do.
Unfortunately, it's easier to build up a following if you're anti-vegan than it is vegan, which is insane. Absolutely insane. But anyway, here's another question from Fear of a Vegan Planet. How would you suggest people deal with concern from grandparents?
Well, I would say, obviously, we can't now because of the lockdown and all that, but I would say invite the grandparents round, make them a delicious cake, make them a 3-4 course vegan menu, and just let them see what you're all eating, because guaranteed they'll walk out of this house feeling like they don't want to eat ever again because they're so full. And they regularly see what we're eating. Especially when we first started, we were sending them pictures, weren't we? Oh, look, Mum, look what we've had. And there's so much information available now to support a plant-based diet, and I've actually put a link tree now on my Instagram, so you'll be able to access, I think it's Plant-Based Health Professionals. They've actually got a PDF on vegan children, so children of 6 months plus. There's also one for toddlers, and I've got a couple of other things on there that's really informative. So if they don't want to come and eat your food, then I guess you can show them the actual information. But the NHS, the British Dietetic Association, it's all there. It's just some people don't want to open their eyes.
Yeah.
Well, my way would be, it's not something that I don't know. I'm going to say it anyway. I would suggest the plant-based route and telling and informing them that the benefits of a vegan or a plant-based diet, because my parents and grandparents have suffered with some nasty health conditions just recently as well, and I think since that, and I've told them why and how, and informed them about was it McDougall's
John McDougall's
starch solution, because my dad, sorry Dad, suffered with his heart. I bought him the book. We bought him the book, and he's been really open to it, and he's really taken it on board now. But that's just one way that I would approach it, the benefits of plants.
Yeah.
I think also when you become parents, grandparents, they want to know what you're doing, and they kind of like home in on, oh, what are you doing? Like, I co-slept with Jack when he was born, and I was breastfeeding Jack, and there seems to be more issues with that than there is anything else. And I would just say, if they're that concerned, just say, look, you've had your time to parent your children. I'm doing it now, so back off.
Yeah, good for you.
Just parent your children and make sure that they are safe and they are fed and there's a roof over your head. Don't worry about the rest.
I think
grandparents, they want to, and I say this as a grandparent myself, and I'm not like your traditional grandparent, but they kind of hover. You get these hover grandparents who just hover over everything and want to control everything. I'm thinking about my own nan. She was exactly like that. Nobody could do anything right. No matter what you were doing, you couldn't do anything right. And I think some grandparents, unfortunately, are like that. They mean the best. They mean, they mean well, but go away. I'm doing it my way. Go away, I think.
And don't, and like, if you get on the wrong side of me, because it's not
I think Bohemian Bee has just put there, Daniela is a fierce mum.
I can be fierce when I need to be. Yes. And parenting, it definitely gave me a backbone, a bone that I never thought I'd ever had. I've never been one for confrontation. I usually just kind of like melt away, but not now. No, because you've got to stand up for your children. That's what it's all about. So They can see we're not doing anything wrong. So
I've got a question from I'm Easy Vegan. When lockdown is finished, will Adam and Danny come to Scotland?
Definitely.
And he needs to pass his driving test. So I think everybody needs to tell him to pass his test.
My dad's sorting it for me.
Yes, because it just relies on me to drive.
I haven't needed to. Well, until now. Everything's been fairly local to me, so it's like,
yeah, but no, we do need to go up there, definitely.
I noticed, so I don't get an invite there.
I think we all need a big get together. I mean, there is supposed to be vegan camp out next year as well.
Super spreading event.
Yeah. Don't say that out loud. Oh my God, that will be a bad day. Muddy Paws, thank you for the £2. Love the dogs tippy tapping. I don't know which dog it is actually. So I've got Poppy and Bella sitting on the settee there. Tilly's upstairs. I don't know where Jack is. Could be Jack.
Great name.
I've got a Jack as well.
That's such a good name.
It's a great name. My Jack was named after Captain Jack from the Doctor Who series. Captain Jack. Anyway, you have to be a Doctor Who fan to know anything about that. Oh, thank you. I'm Easy Vegan. I am also invited. That's great. Scotland it is. Next year sometime then. We'll all head up to Scotland.
Yeah.
Any final questions? Got any more good questions? Let's try and pick one out if there's any more.
I don't know. Our Jack was named after my great-grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah, he's...
Bombardier Jack Wells.
Not one of the Wurzels then.
No. The Royal Artillery.
I think as well, when it comes to because obviously no one has asked, the best way to talk to children about veganism is to be open and honest with them. It's quite a heartbreaking discussion when you have to tell the truth, and you know, when you're eating animal products, you kind of don't really have to say anything, do you really? So it's not nice having to say that some people do eat animals, but we don't eat animals, and he doesn't understand why people do. We've not really sort of had that discussion yet, and I probably won't yet, because we talked to him about it age appropriately. So he does know that animals are hurt. He does know that, but I've kept it quite age appropriate. I've told him that, you know, that the simple things that we all know, and I also teach him what he should be eating. So he actually does a lot of cooking with me in the kitchen. I've always encouraged that. I think it's important that he learns what he should be eating, because I think that's really important. I think all children should learn how to cook. You know, it's a necessary skill that we all need in life, which is why I like to get him in the kitchen. Yeah, it's good.
Well, I was strongly encouraged to go in the kitchen with my nan when I was a kid. But whenever she was cooking, there was always something really interesting on the TV. Like on a Saturday, she always used to make a pie. And I used to get shoved into the kitchen every single Saturday at 4 p.m. because I had to learn how to make pastry, because I wouldn't get a husband if I didn't know how to make pastry. But unfortunately for my nan, I used to turn right back round and come and sit with my granddad, because it was wrestling on a Saturday on World. Okay. I don't know whether anybody's old enough to remember Big Daddy versus Giant Haystacks. No. Maybe I'm quite a bit older than you guys, so yeah, that's my excuse why I never learned to cook. But you're absolutely right, kids should learn to cook, and yeah, shame on my family for not insisting.
They need to learn where food comes from at the end of the day, and I don't think enough people have that chat.
That's right, we do,
because I don't think they'd eat it if they knew, really.
Yeah, and we don't have that connection, do we, with our food anymore? You know, it's a few generations back, we'd have been growing our own food. We'd have been killing our own food, I guess. But you know, at least then kids today they don't need to do that, and they need to be taught how to navigate through life compassionately, because that's the right thing to do. And kids love animals, don't they? And kids many generations back would have loved animals as well, but perhaps those kids were literally starving and had no other choice but to eat animals. But anyway, how's the running going, says Satan Inside?
Well, I'm a long distance runner. It's something that I would encourage lots of people to get into if they like running. I recently ran 25k just for the hell of it, because why not? That's what I do. I just love running. I love it. It's how I relax.
How can you possibly have the energy to do 25k when you're vegan? And
you know the best of it? When I run that far, I haven't even eaten anything. I run fasted. So I rely on the food that I had the night before, and I come back. I don't always eat straight away, but I feel great for it. It's great. The running is great. I mean, I love exercise anyway. I never used to. I used to be, really unhealthy. I smoked, drank. I smoked a lot many years ago. But actually, through having Jack and turning my life around, I would never touch another cigarette anyway. But yeah, running is a big part of my life. And I'm part of the vegan runners as well, if there's any vegan runners in the chat. So we had our final get together on Tuesday, because obviously lockdown, we won't be able to run together. So I'll just keep doing what I do and do me little long runs on the weekend. Yeah.
Do you run at all, Adam? Or
I do, but it's had to go on hold for a minute because I don't know whether anyone knows, I had viral meningitis earlier on in the year.
It was last year, wasn't it?
Was it last year?
Yeah.
And I'm still having, it's not come back, but I'm having some side effects from it still.
Oh, no.
And it includes like really bad pins and needles in my arms and legs sometimes. So yeah, it's definitely nothing to do with veganism or anything like that. I've had all my bloods done.
Oh, the doctor was shocked.
Yeah, I've had it all done. Everything's done. Thyroid's been checked, B12D, the whole lot, and they've done the tests, and it was the viral meningitis side effects. It's they've explained to me it can come back and go and come back. So it might go, it might not. They said it described it to me as being a little bit like ME. So. So at the moment it's on hold because sometimes I can't feel my feet, sometimes I can. It's just
blimey. I've got ME, so I can sympathise with you. I got ME after a bad virus, just a random throat thing going on at the end of 2006, and mainly I'm absolutely fine, but I can tell when I've done too much, and occasionally I have relapses, and then all the anti-vegans come along and say, Michelle's got chronic fatigue because she's vegan. Oh,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I've heard it all before. Well, we've got the people now, I mean, this is insane, but we've got people now who don't think viruses even exist.
Oh.
I'm actually a nurse, so I disagree with that.
And I work in a microbiology
yes, I disagree with
lab.
that. I don't know what these people are thinking.
It's a sad indictment of everything that's going on in the world.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's some of the way that we look for viruses is so like out of this world as well. I don't really want to talk about it, but it's just crazy. Crazy how we do it.
Some people just I don't know. It beggars belief, and I'm not often lost for words, but when people come along and say viruses don't exist, and have you ever seen a virus? Therefore, if you've never seen one with your naked eye, then they cannot be real. No, I've actually had that in the last few days in my comment section.
I feel a bit stumped.
Show me a video of a virus. An actual virus, yeah. I don't know what to tell some people, honestly. And then I get told that I've been indoctrinated, that I'm so easily fooled, and yeah, I know. Anyway, let's make this the final question. This is a good one. Could we do a cook-off? The local fire brigade will be noticed.
Actually, it's you set the fire alarms off earlier while I was picking Jack up from nurseries.
Well, yeah, I forgot to open up the little like pulley out hatch whilst I was doing our naan breads. So yeah, with doing naan breads, you have to have like the skillet like red hot, and then you put your naan bread on, and then it does it. It's a big thing, but I completely forgot.
I could smell burning as I was walking up to the house.
Yeah, so the whole street must have thought the house was on fire because they'd have seen you got out and go in the car and drive off to pick Jack up. And then the next thing they hear is this fire alarm going off.
But yes, we could do a cook-off.
Oh dear, we could. Let's give it a try.
We could.
Oh, blimey. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. It's been fantastic. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
You're a fantastic couple. You're an inspiration to vegan families, vegan kids everywhere, and I'm right on board, right with you with the educational thing for UK schools. They don't know the force that's about to hit them. They got the full force of the UK vegan community.
Yes, and it's going to be a tough one, but we're all in it together.
Yeah, and
we really appreciate the support. And as I said earlier, if anybody does want to help, then get in touch, and I can give you some work to do.
Yay, get some homework.
Veganism is a vastly growing thing, and we want to make sure that the schools are prepared for it.
And supporting the children, most of all. Yeah.
Absolutely. So UK Vegan Families channel is linked in the description. You're also on Instagram.
Yes.
I think it's just UK Vegan Family, isn't it? So,
yeah, we're on Instagram. It's UK_Vegan Family on Instagram. We've just got to 3,000 followers today, so we're going to be doing a competition.
Oh wow!
Yes, we've been asked to do a competition, so we're going to do that. Really excited!
Woohoo!
Hey.
I've got to say, Instagram does my head in. I try to avoid it. I don't know why. I've got loads of messages of people who message me on Instagram, and then they come back in my comments saying, "You've not replied to me, Michelle." I was like, oh, sorry. Anyway, I'll try my best to be a better social media person, because yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to stay on for like 5 minutes just to say what's coming up next on this channel. So I shall say goodbye to you guys. Let's go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes.
And long live veganism. Long live vegan families.
And thank you for your support as well.
Thank you for everyone in the chat.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, that was brill. Loved that. Love it. Love it. Love. I love having people on the channel, and I should really do it so much more, because I think the way that we grow veganism now is to be a genuine community, and we all stand together. We all do our little bit, and through vegan children is they're our future. And I know it sounds cliched, but I think I've come to the conclusion now that we have such a long way to go still. We've got all these plant-based products and things on the shelves all over the world now, but we still have a long way to go. Just think about the 17 million mink that are being culled at the moment, just in Denmark alone, because of coronavirus. So very, very sad. We've got a long way to go. So education and sticking together as a community, I think is a thing that we need to do. So next on the channel, I'm going to be doing my monthly Q&A, possibly Sunday. So look out for that. I'm going to be on Grumpy Vegan Grandad's channel next Saturday evening, UK time. So I'm in the hot seat over on Grumpy Vegan Grandad's channel. And if you guys can let me know who you want to see on the channel, because I love doing these streams with people, and I just don't do them, and I'm lazy, and I need to just get into contact with people. I've been meaning to get into contact with UK Vegan Family for weeks, and it was only because Danny emailed me about the schools initiative that I thought, oh yeah, I remembered I was going to invite them on the channel. So I am lazy, and unless I get a prompt, I'm rubbish, absolutely rubbish. I'm rubbish at social media. Anyway, so I'm going to call it a night. So possibly Sunday for the next stream. There's going to be get vegan lifting vegan logic on your channel. That's a good idea. I'm Easy Vegan. Oh, we're getting some good suggestions. Just as I was about to hit end broadcast. So I'm Easy Vegan. If you're still in the chat, then let me know if you would like to come on the channel and have a chat. But lifting vegan logic is a good choice as well. Michelle has never been so busy. Oh, I'm never busy. I actually have been really busy at work, but you know, that's another thing. And Vegan Gaze was on the other night, and it was Vegan Gaze's suggestion to do that, not mine, because I'm lazy. There's a common theme. That's the word. A common theme. Lazy. So boost me. Tell me what I've got to do, guys, and I will go and do it. But I need the prompts. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks once again to UK Vegan Family. Love the chat. Inspirational couple. Amazing venture. And I think this could really go from strength to strength. Thanks to the mods. I know there's been a troll or two in the chat, so thanks to the mods for sorting that. Thanks to those that super chatted, and channel members, patrons, everyone who watches the streams, all helping keep me on the straight and narrow. So until next time, see you guys.